All right, what's this one here? So here is Pierre Poilievre talking about, well, in the new hate bill and hate symbols bill from the liberals, they only mention one kind of hate. It's like, the kind from Germany in the 30s. Nothing else. Nothing, no other kind. Nothing about those mobs in the street with their flags from the Middle East, and their genocidal slogans. Nothing about any of that. But it was just those guys from Germany in the 30s for some reason, which really has nothing to do with modern Canada. They're not here. Here's Pierre Poilievre talking about Christians may be the number one group that is a victim of hate-based violence. And yeah, there's been over 100 churches burned down in recent years in Canada. Nothing from the federal government, from the Liberal government, not concerned at all. As far as we can tell, they seem to be fairly sympathetic to burning down Christian churches. Certainly nothing about that in any of their hate bills that they've come out with. So let's take a look at what Pierre Poilievre has to say.
This past week, we saw a church burning in Canada, a tragic incident at a church in Michigan, and over 100 incidents of church burning or vandalism since 2021 in Canada.
Yes.
What do you make of the sectarian strife seen targeting towards Christians? Do you think the government's doing enough to combat this, and what would you do?
I think it's terrible. No, the government is not doing enough, and I would do a lot more. So let's recap where we are. 100 churches have been burned. You hear almost nothing from the Liberal government about this. Christians may be the number one group that is victims of hate-based violence. But of course, it's not politically correct to say that. 100 terrorist attacks against Canadian churches. This anti-Christian hate has got to stop. We've seen with this Liberal government is the number of things they've done to allow this. One, they've separated people into groups. Their ideology seeks to identity politics, divides one group against another, and then we're surprised when that leads to violence. Two, the Liberals have reduced criminal penalties for arson, so people are not afraid to get caught burning things down anymore. And three, they have failed to put law enforcement resources where they belong, which is to say going after criminals rather than targeting farmers, duck hunters, and professional sports shooters. So conservatives would take exactly the opposite approach. We would bring in mandatory prison sentences for extortionists. We would crack down on hate crime, which is more than doubled under the Liberals, with tougher laws that throw criminals in prison. We used to make sure that the foreign criminals that are in our country illegally are kicked out of Canada. And we would redirect resources away from banning duck hunters, farmers, and sports shooters towards more police and border services that will keep all Canadians safe.
The only place I disagree with them there is that I don't like hate laws. I just don't like them. I think you should just punish people for the crimes they commit. Like, just do that. I'm not a big fan of the whole hate. I don't think there should be hate laws or added time on for sentences for an emotion for something as nebulous as hate. What do you hate Nazis? Right? Like I think people should be allowed to hate. Again, it's this nebulous thing. Like, you're going to make an emotion illegal. It seems strange to me. But that's the only place I would disagree with them on. And yeah, look, over 100 churches. I mean, obviously there's a problem here. Media is not very interested. Certainly the radical progressive government is not interested. So yeah, I think he's got a point. And I hope that he becomes prime minister so we can start seeing some sanity back in this country. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.